Hi, and welcome to Shadow School. My name is Matt Sandbank. Today, we are going to be making butterfly puppets. Stick around to the end, and I'll show you how to turn your butterfly puppet into a rainbow butterfly. Let's get started. Here are the materials you need for this shadow puppet. Okay, let's make a butterfly. We're going to start with a piece of cardboard. I like to use cereal boxes. I just cut the cereal box apart, so I have got this rectangular panel. And for a butterfly, we're going to start with a circle. That's the head of the butterfly. And then some antenna. Now make the top of the antenna nice and big. A circle that's too small is going to be hard to cut out. And then also, you want to be able to make those antenna a little thicker. And if your circles are too small, they just won't look right. Even these, I think, could be made a little bit bigger. You want the proportion to be right where the top of those antenna are bigger, and it makes this long part of the antenna look skinnier, but you actually need this part of the antenna to have enough width to be able to hold on to the puppet without just breaking off. And then for the bottom of the butterfly, just make a long skinny oval like that, and we just kind of imagine the oval ending there, but you don't have to draw that part if you don't want. And we're going to need a place for the wings to attach. So just do a half circle on either side of the butterfly and then put a dot in the middle there. You can put dots up here if you want your butterfly to have eyes, but I kind of think it looks better without. Okay, and so that's the main body of the butterfly, and then we have the wings. Now the wings, the great thing about the butterfly is the juxtaposition. That means the kind of strong comparison between two different things, between the kind of small, skinny body of the butterfly and then the big, large wings. So what you want to do is draw a little half circle that is going to match up with this, and that's where your dot goes, because that's where these are going to connect. But then from there, you want to make a nice big kind of very large and elaborate wing. Now the top is this usually larger circle, and the bottom's a bit smaller. Kind of, you know what it is? It's really just kind of an ear shape. Imagine a giant ear. Now you could try to just freehand and draw the same thing on the other side, but what I find is easier is actually when you have a puppet that has symmetry like a butterfly, both of the wings are supposed to look exactly the same on either side. You should go ahead and cut this one out, flip it over, and trace it on this side. Let me show you. And actually, as I'm doing that, I'm realizing I think this bottom part of the wing is a bit too big. I'm going to make that a little smaller. I'm going to have it kind of come in a little more dramatically and go back out like that. But there is a lot of wiggle room with a butterfly for how exactly you make their wing. You can try out lots of different wing shapes if you like. Do a quick cut. One thing I like about these butterfly wings is things that are big and have lots of kind of rounded edges tend to be easier to cut out than the things with lots of jagged edges that are small and intricate. This wing cuts out a lot faster than many of my puppet pieces. Okay, so like I said, we're going to use this as our template to trace. We want to flip over since it's going to be on the opposite side of the puppet. And what you want to avoid is, see how there's this flap here? You don't want to trace over the flap, because if you do that, your puppet will end up being wobbly. You want your puppet to be nice and solid on just one piece of cardstock. So stay clear of that foldy edge of the cereal box. Sometimes I even cut those edges off of the cereal box before I get started, just so I'm not tempted to make a mistake. And we'll put another dot right there. Now let's cut out the rest of our puppet. Start with the wing. And just so that I make this job easier, I'm going to kind of do a large cut there. That way I'm not having to manipulate the entire piece of cardboard. I'm just working with this smaller piece here. Makes it a little easier. The wings are nice and easy, but the body of the butterfly has some more intricate cuts, so we have to take a little bit more time, be a little more careful with that. I like to do small little cuts using the back end of the scissors, which is near my fingers. Because it's the back end of the scissors and it's near my fingers, I'm able to have a lot more control over my cuts. And to have even more control, I kind of keep my scissor hand not entirely still and facing forward, but I do a good part of the steering with my left hand that's holding the cardboard, so I can focus mostly on small cuts with my scissor hand. It's kind of like steering a vehicle a little bit. Small controlled cuts will actually not just make your puppet look better, but it actually speeds up the entire process, believe it or not. Okay, there we go. And we're on the home stretch of this puppet now. Let's punch out the dots. And let's join the puppet pieces together. It does not matter whether these wings are on top or on bottom of the puppet. Either way will work just fine. Once you have those holes punched out, you're going to get yourself 2 brass paper fasteners. You're going to line up the holes, push that brass paper fastener through, pinch it down so it stays in place, and then fold down these tabs. Do that on both sides. It doesn't matter whether your wings, like I said, are on top or on bottom, but you do want to have them both be the same. You want them to either be both on top or both on bottom. And it's because when you start making this butterfly fly, one thing that does happen sometimes, because these wings are so large, is they will sometimes get caught on the antenna of the butterfly. And if you have one wing on top and one wing on bottom, the butterfly doesn't really have as many places to go. It's a lot easier to manage where your puppet goes if you keep it all the same, with the wings both on top or the wings both on bottom. Now we have one step left to go. One mandatory step. There's 2 steps if you want to go the optional route of adding color, but I'll show you that at the end of the video, and I'll show you what it looks like when you add some color to these butterflies. You have a lot of choices in how you orient your straws. It really doesn't matter if you're like this or like this. The main thing is you want the bend of the straw to go kind of close to the, be pointing towards the joint of the puppet. And when you attach the straw, you want the straw to be sticking straight up in the air if your puppet is flat on your work surface. I'm going to use 2 pieces of tape on either side here. And I'm going to try to have both of these straws oriented the same way. What I mean is kind of they're both angled in this way. It would work if I had one straw like this and one straw like that, but I think it makes most sense to my hands when I'm operating the puppet to have both of the rods be pretty similar. And there we go, a butterfly. And now you have a butterfly. It flaps around the screen really, really well. But this is a puppet that really, really benefits from having some color. The easiest way to do that is to take your hole puncher, punch a lot of different holes along the wings, cover it with a little bit of tape, and then color that tape with a marker. You get a neat pattern like this. Thanks so much for joining me today at Shadow School. My name is Matt Sandbank. Don't forget to click like and subscribe if you like making shadow puppets like this one with me. Thanks. See you next time.